Let my blood turn this dirt to mud. What you waiting for? I'm ready right now.
Hello, Brittany.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
How's your day going?
Actually, really good. It's a beautiful day. I'm in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, so I'm gonna spar later.
All right. Yeah, I was actually born in Clarksburg, West Virginia, which is
okay.
not that
I
far
lived
from
in
there.
West Virginia for a little while.
Where at?
Cross Lanes?
I don't know where it's at, but I feel sorry for you. Nah, I actually
Yeah.
liked West Virginia. It's not bad.
It's not.
It's not a bad place. It gets a bad rap sometimes, but what
Yeah.
place doesn't? You
Right.
know? So what we do here on the short round is I want to talk to different martial artists, no matter what style, cage fighting, whatever. I want to know how you got into martial arts. So can you start off with what made you get into martial arts?
I grew up, for a majority of my childhood in Gillette, Wyoming, and I got married at 18 and divorced very young. And I was bartending and I was obsessed with CrossFit. And I've never even been to a fight before, but the fights came to our bar and the owner of the fights had like a meet and greet fighter, which was Spencer Fisher. And the owner of the fights and Spencer came up and talked to me when I was serving Coronas and said I had the look. And then I went and started training. And that was it. That's how I started.
So just because you had a look, they said, well, you should get into
I think they
MMA.
said you look like a fighter, and I was like, I am a fighter. And then they gave me like the owner of the fights like had a gym that was in Gillette that was called Iron Wolf Gym, and he's like, go down there, see if you're into it. And 3 months later, I was in the cage in an amateur bout. I only trained for 3 months for my first fight.
Wow. And you said you got married at an early age at 18. How old was you when this all started?
I think 21 is when I actually started, because I was cocktailing and I was just turned 21. So yeah, I'd say probably 21.
Okay. And, you said that you went down to the gym. What gym did you go to again? And tell me about your experience when you got in there.
It was called Iron Wolf Gym, and it was in Gillette, Wyoming. So it was a little niche that went there, and the team was La Familia. And I don't know, the head coach was a boxing coach, so he did like all kinds of boxing things. But I think everybody would just like watch a fight and then come and try to recreate it in class, or the more experienced fighters, which was not very experienced. There wasn't even a commission in Wyoming then, or in South Dakota. And that's why most of my fights as amateur are not like shown on any kind of record, because there was no commission. And so I did a bunch of uncommissioned amateur bouts, except maybe the boxing coach. And yeah, I mean, it's good memories, but I laugh pretty loud when I have a little flashback to some of the drills we used to do or something that was for a fight. I was there for a short time, and then I moved to Denver and trained majority in Denver.
Okay, so I'm going to sit there and say probably a lot of those unsanctioned fights were mostly in bars.
Yeah, there was smoking in the bars. So like it was an interesting thing. One of the fights that I had was on an outdoor event, and they had like the big construction lights that they use for construction on the outside. And if you've ever been to Wyoming and South Dakota area, there's like a bunch of mosquitoes. And I remember right before I got in the fight, the lights were just like, there was a tornado with mosquitoes above it. And yeah, it was good times.
Which one bothered you the most, the mosquitoes or the smoking?
The smoke. Yeah. But yeah, the outside event, that was the mosquito event. That was the only time I've ever fought outside. And it was an ordeal because the tarp was like dewy and there's bugs everywhere. And it was in the country. So good time.
So you take your career from there and you go to Denver. How was that?
It was a huge change because I was pretty much like the coolest thing that ever happened in my eyes in Gillette, Wyoming. But then I got a little taste of reality of like people that are actually trained, and I was in some pretty awesome gyms. I got to train at Grudge Training Center and 303 Training Center at first. I trained with Team Wildman for a while, which is Thomas Denny's gym. And then I went to Elevation Fight Team, but the initial change was huge because I had no idea what I was doing. And I already had like something like 4 amateur fights. And, you know, like I said, I thought I was like the crop de la creme of MMA fighters back then. You know, I was going on to a future famous career and I had no idea what I was doing. I had never put on a gi. I had never been to a real jiu-jitsu class. So I got a large taste of what actual training for fights was compared to what we were doing. And I mean, it was awesome. It was awesome. I moved to Denver. I used to drive to Denver, which is a 6-hour drive from my hometown, and then train with them like over the weekend and stay with some like made friends and then go back. And I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be the next star. And I moved there. So I was there in Denver for 11 years.
Wow. And what year was this when you started going over there?
It wasn't long after I started. I'd have to say I trained in Gillette for like a year and a half, maybe a year, something like along that line, and then moved there. I was still in my 20s, at the most 23. And I got a job at a bar and trained all day and worked all night. And my son was in kindergarten, so he is 16 next week. So yeah, it's been a while. I don't know. I don't have the exact timeline down, but my first sanctioned bout was in Denver versus Maureen Riordan, and it was something that was an amateur, and I lost. And it was something that was huge change because like I'd never done any of the tests like blood work or anything before, so I thought, oh my God, this is getting serious. And you know, I was like very, very amateur, very, very green. I was an MMA baby, but I thought I was going big.
And you have to sign the death waiver.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Yeah, the first time I ever signed one of those, I was like, maybe I should think my choices here a little bit. But
yeah,
you're like, let's just go for it anyways.
It was big. It was a big change, a big step up. Yeah. So
a majority of well, actually, I would sit there and say pretty much your whole training career and everything has been in Denver.
Mostly, yeah. I've been out in Pennsylvania for 1 year now. So I've been training with Finishers MMA out here, and it's a 10 Planet school. I've been really enjoying it. I was retired for 2 years before I fought Clarissa. After Bobby Joe broke my arm really, really bad from blocking a head kick improperly. And I'd fought Kayla the fight before that. Kayla's first fight was me. And then they were like, tune-up fight, and we'll put you in the tournament. And that's when I broke my arm. I moved here, and they called me last March to fight Clarissa. And then I've just been training ever since. So I've only been out here for about a year.
Yeah, I remember because I follow you on Instagram, of course. And, you know, I like watching the progress of you, also along with your beautiful art career of your cartoons that you draw.
My awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that.
And you should be. So whatever MMA and, you know, jiu-jitsu's done with you, just go in there and start doing your art career.
Yeah, there's pretty great at drawing stick figures, you know.
Yeah. Hey, they're very well illustrated.
Thank you.
Your stick figures tell a story no matter what.
Thank you so much.
So you know, so when you was in Denver and everything, you was obviously pursuing your jiu-jitsu career and things like that. You're what, a brown belt now, right?
I'm a black belt.
You're a black belt now?
I got my black belt last December in Denver from Brad Nicolaarson, is who I've been training under for a long time. So I got my black belt.
Yeah, that should make you feel proud. I mean,
oh, it does. Yeah, I mean, of course, that's like what you work towards. But learning a lot, total different systems, and just kind of stepping outside of what I started with in training, learning a bunch of different. I don't know. I've definitely grown this year too. Like every time you train, you grow, I guess. But yeah, I've changed a lot in the way I actually have more thought into my movements now, and I was pretty ecstatic to get my black belt. But yeah, last December, I got it.
So you went from Ghee to Nogi because you said you're training that 10th plant now?
I did mostly train Nogi, or no, excuse me, Ghee, alongside of MMA, all through my Denver career, because the school I went to I always wanted to be a black belt. So I would go to Team Elevation for MMA. Obviously, I'd catch as many Nogi things as I could because it just complements MMA and there's a lot of option. But then I'd always go to, which I'm from a Hibero affiliate school or a Lovato affiliate school, and it was Hibero and then just went strictly Lovato. But I was under them for a long time, and they were majority Ghee, so I did do it for a long time. I haven't put on a Ghee in over a year now, so I'd probably get murdered. But I don't find a lot of things that I compete in the Ghee, so I kind of just, I enjoy Nogi more personally, but I will always put the Ghee back on. It's probably not as quick anymore to some of the chokes. I definitely need to practice before I entered in any kind of training. But yeah, most of my stuff was alongside with the Ghee. There was a lot of talking.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Do you see it being more of a the tournaments now going to no Ghee?
I just think, like, personally, I think everybody likes what they like, but personally I find Nogi more exciting. It's quicker, I enjoy it more. There's a lot more freedom in like all your submissions. I like a submission only match over a point match personally, but I mean, I'm not the only person out there. There's definitely some amazing Ghee players.
Yeah.
I do see a lot more Nogi stuff, but maybe that's just what I'm looking for. And again, I just think it's kind of like a quicker match, personally, but
yeah,
there's a lot of promotions to fight on now. So
yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot more than what it used to be, especially I really didn't start any kind of official martial art training until like 4 years ago, but been around martial arts since like 89, 90, and then I saw the not the birth of mixed martial arts, because you always had ballet tudo and things like that, but when the UFC popped on the scene, and I was in high school, I was like, oh, here we go, this is gonna be awesome. But now looking at different things, I do see, you always see your Ghee tournaments and things like that, but you do see a lot of no Ghee popping up, and I think that's interesting. They're totally different. I mean, because you take away some things when you go to the no Ghee, but you also take things away when you're in a Ghee. So, you've been on both sides of it. So, and you've obviously like one because, like you said, it's faster. And
I like no Ghee more because it's like I make more money when I compete. That's not the only reason. It complements my MMA more just because it's well, obviously in MMA you're not in a Ghee, and it's just more enjoyable for me and less laundry.
Less laundry. Well, that makes sense. I mean, when you're sitting there training and everything, and you've got a job and you've got children, you don't want to add to your laundry list.
No, I mean, I think Eddie Bravo told that joke a long time ago, but yeah, I don't know. It's my preferred thing. I know a bunch of people that prefer the Ghee over no Ghee, so I think there's so many options, but I do see a lot of like the tournament burners and like, a lot. 10th Planet does a ton of tournaments in-house, and like they're heavily broadcasted, and then who's next is on Flow Grappling and who's number one. I just think, like I said, I just think it moves faster and is a little bit more exciting to watch personally.
It is.
I think
I can see that. And just also, like you said, it does help more with your MMA, just because, I mean, what's the difference? I mean, you're wearing shorts instead of spats and stuff. So
Yeah.
really not too much of a difference, right? So you sit there and said you fought Kayla first, or with her first match, and then you fought Clarissa. It's not really, I mean, it's not, win or lose, but how did you feel about those fights?
I totally underestimated Kayla. I didn't even really know much about her. I knew she was a judo gold medalist, and there's a lot more to know now because she's fought more fights. I was maybe back then I was maybe a little more arrogant and thought I was the shit. I definitely lost to Kayla quickly. It's always sad to lose, and I take it pretty hard because I care. My ego was definitely bruised. When Ray called me personally and told me after that loss that, he'd love to have me in the tournament the next season, I should do a tune-up fight. So I took one, again, with bad technique. I lost the fight versus Bobby. I broke my arm in the first 30 seconds. I fought to 4 minutes with a severely broken arm. I didn't really know how bad it was. And then I couldn't be in the next PFL tournament. And I kind of was just like, that recovery, because I refused surgery and I made them squeeze my arm because I was broke. I didn't have money to pay for a surgery. I was like, just squeeze it and put it in a cast. It'll be fine. I was kind of just went through a huge depression, and I called it my retirement. And then I got back to training, and I was training for about a year, but just jujitsu. I really didn't go into MMA anymore. I consider myself retired. And then again, Ray called me and he was like, hey, we have this fight opportunity for you to fight Clarissa. So in 9 weeks, after 2 years off, I got ready for Clarissa, and I was very excited about it. I wasn't even as, I think, upset about my loss because I thought I performed well at first, but then I went through a whole I hate myself feeling a few months later, especially when she fought again and I felt she was beaten much easier than so I mean, not taking away from that other girl, I just was being in my self-loathing. I went through another depression. Losing's hard for me, at least, and I don't take it very well. And I mean, I'm proud I fought them. I'm not like proud to be, their first fight and then their, first win, it doesn't feel good. And I probably hold some inner resentment towards myself because I didn't do as good as I thought I could.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it this way. I mean, and trust me, you're the one that had the fight, but I always look at it as at least you did it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm happy I did it. I'm not like embarrassed about that. I'm happy I did it, and I enjoy fighting. It just happens. I think for me, at least, you over-evaluate yourself all the time and live in the now. I'm, not in the next tournament because of my losses. So you just sometimes can be hypercritical of yourself, and especially when other people are criticizing you too. You can just kind of go. I go to the sometimes not safe place of my criticisms.
Do you read the comments?
I have, yes. And many people have said such sweet things about me.
Because everybody is really looking towards that whole Clarissa Shield fight, thinking that, just, did that put a lot of pressure on you?
No, I really thought that by her interviews and all of her ego and stuff, I was like, oh, I don't really like Clarissa, or I wouldn't want to be her friend. So I wasn't I didn't feel under any tremendous pressure. I did actually feel a little, everybody was very excited about it. I was excited about it. It was one of my most exciting opportunities, I've ever had in the sport. I mean, it was awesome. And being in the PFL bubble, I got to meet a bunch of people. I did end up hating Clarissa more because she just acted so stupid. I couldn't stand her. And she's just I tried to not let her like bother me actually mentally, but I couldn't stand her trash talk. And I know that's part of it. Like
Yeah.
it's just such a different person than who I am. And I couldn't wait to fight her by the end of it because of all the terrible things she blurted out of her mouth and never stopped talking about how cool she was. So yeah, I was really looking forward to it by the end of the week of being around her so much. It was awesome.
Now, I'll tell you one of the things that I liked in that fight is you came out with a very heavy Muay Thai stance.
Oh yeah. We were trying to not let any of her punches go through, and I wasn't going to throw my hands at her. I mean, she's done most of that, so I wasn't going to like. With my team, we were game planning to not just immediately throw at a boxer that's an Olympic caliber and somebody with so much experience of, moving around boxing hands. So it was trying to be a different look that opened up opportunities for me and gave as little opportunity to her as possible. So I still fight like that. I still fight kind of the same way. And yeah, I mean, obviously I'm more of a ground fighter. That's what I enjoy more. I wish I could have done better when I had opportunities, but I did good.
No, I enjoyed the fight. Like I said, win, lose, or draw. I'm looking for a good fight. Not everybody's going to win, and I understand it, and that sucks. So, what is your future with even with the PFL? What
They
is that
cut
looking
me
like?
after that. So I don't have an immediate future with them. I don't have a contract with anybody. I was whispering about taking a fight with Fusion Fight League, a couple of fights, but they haven't delivered an opponent. So I'm just being happy and training. I've done a bunch of jiu-jitsu matches, which don't compare, but I go to MMA practice every day. I don't really know what my future holds. I wish I had something to tell you, but I don't.
No, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, it sounds by your Instagram and stuff. I mean, it looks like you're really liking, the whole jiu-jitsu tournaments and things.
Oh, I always have. I mean, I've competed in them alongside of MMA the whole time. So I just get a lot of opportunities. I worked for Fight to Win for 5 years. I sometimes still work with them. They give me a lot of opportunities. I've done the subversive tournaments and the finishers tournament. I hold the belt at brown belt, so I guess I wouldn't hold it anymore. Or 170 Nogi. I think it's like overall any belt. Yeah, I mean, I usually just get a lot of opportunities because I've done that the most. And I try, like when I see somebody, like the subversive tournament coming up, I wanted to build a team for it because it has an open weight class for the women and I'm a larger lady. So I also did ADCC trials. I wish I could have made it into the finals. I made it into the top 8. And the Paige Avanti took me out. She got second place. So, I mean, I try to always just keep up with the best and go against them and try to be the best in jiu-jitsu. So I'm aggressive on that.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of opportunity.
I would be correct saying that you're very competitive.
I would say, yeah, I don't know. I would say I'm very competitive. Sometimes I compete with myself most, but yeah.
Our brains will do that, and I guess it's everybody's situation is different and how you was raised and, situations that happen to your life will make those situations worse or, being able to compete with them, right?
I guess, yeah, I think my sister always tries to help me and she probably got this quote off TikTok, I think. No, I'm just kidding. She just said, if you gave yourself as many chances as you give other people, you might, love yourself. And sometimes I'm overcritical of all my past moments. So I'm just trying to give myself a little bit more leeway or whatever word you want to say that have some not perfect.
I was thinking leeway in my head too. So then that must be the right word then.
Okay, cool.
We'll go with leeway. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
So, we've talked about how and where you got into martial arts. How does that play with, things that you learned, things that your coaches taught, things that, your gym mates, how has that changed things in your life? Like before you got, let's say Brittany at age 19 compared to now and going through all this training, how has those things changed your life? Because that's really what this whole podcast is to help people that might not have ever gotten into martial arts, get into martial arts, the reason why it might change them and things like that. What has it done for you?
I mean, I could say more or about what it hasn't. I mean, it's done so much for me. It's structurally made me aware of like all the things that I can get through. I feel a lot more calm through anxious moments. I believe I'm strong, even if I question it sometimes. I have a sense of home on the mats to where I can disconnect from the outside realities that stress you out. It's kind of just always made me really realize eventually everything will be okay. It might be a moment to moment bad, moment to moment good, but in the long run, it'll be okay. It's found me friends. It's made me a better person, more caring to other people. It's an equalizer. So you get to go on the mat and go against people that you would never, expect what, they're going through or what their profession is. It equalizes that. And then you guys are just people training on your best self. It's opened doors for me all over. It's given me opportunities. I've seen the whole United States for free, traveling and meeting people. It's given me a lot of balance, made me aware of my diet and my like drinking habits, because I can't do those things always, and making me have a little bit more willpower to get through something, to put more value into something else, like what's important to me. It's had me set goals and reach them. It's shown me that I'm capable of things I didn't ever think I could be, like weight cutting down to learning a move, down to actually making it happen. It's brought out, more positive than negative. And the few broken bones I've taken along the way have also, in a weird way, helped me, learn about healing. And yeah, I mean, it's majorly been positive, and I can't even think of a negative thing other than just going through the heartache of loss, but I think that makes you grow too. So I don't, I hope everybody trains. I got a couple people started down here in Philly that I bartend here too, and I got a girl started. She's in love with it, and I, try to direct anybody that comes to me and says, I want to get in shape before I try it. I'm like, just start. So I think the community brings out a lot of positive, and they also recognize when somebody negative walks in the community, they try to, be aware of the other types too. So it's a forever growing as a per person sport, and so you don't have to take it to the extremes of getting in a cage to have a lot of personal success.
So I will sit there and tell anybody, just go start. You don't have to lose weight to go start it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to lose the weight already.
Right.
Like you'll see. Yeah, you'll see like tons of, jiu-jitsu schools and, Gracie schools and things like that. You don't have to lose weight. Just get in there. You're going to lose the weight and you're going to feel better when you're moving. And since when I started karate and now I'm actually an MMA gym, I'm never going to fight. But we do the Muay Thai and, jiu-jitsu and, boxing and things like that. So that actually helps way better, than most exercises, I
don't think you have to fight. You can have a lot of happiness from just the whole like self-awareness on how to properly get up and how to properly, do something. It can bring in a lot of confidence to just see you're able sometimes.
Yeah.
You don't have to
most
fight,
definitely. And let me ask you this, if you're having a bad day, have you ever went to a class? You're having a bad mental day, you're a pissed off day. Have you ever went to a class and afterwards you're like still pissed off?
Usually that's what takes it away. You know, I mean, I can't say I've had all perfect days. I've definitely not gone to class because I've had a bad day too. But if I find myself going down that negative tornado thing, I usually am just like, I need to get to class. And but not always. I mean, I
Yeah.
usually just getting a little of that exertion out and staying. I think it's, you know, a lifestyle too. When I don't know, I'm one that's hard to talk about that because I definitely, when I'm having a really bad day, I've definitely been my worst enemy and pulled me from class, and then had a worse day. So I guess
Yeah.
that does answer the question. It
Yeah,
usually
well,
helps.
let me ask you a question. Did I see some stuff on your Instagram about like wrestling and things like that?
Like actual. Oh, I used to. So I was on tour for a long time, and I've been part of production crews, and I worked in a wrestling venue for a while, and I got to meet a lot of the wrestlers, and it's a blast. I've never done it myself. I was thinking about going to some of them, but I'm kind of already after a different mission goal for now anyway of my life. I've definitely spent time with wrestlers. What fun people, what fun time they have with their performances. And I have a higher respect for all of their stuff because it's definitely hard work and an incredible performance. And working in that venue was awesome, and getting to meet them all. And I got to work with the AEW wrestlers, AEW wrestlers, and the Ring of Honor wrestlers, and
Yeah.
I had such a fun time doing that. And then some smaller wrestling shows came through too. But no, not myself. I mean, it would
Yeah.
always be fun to play around, but I've
No,
only
that's
done.
what I was wondering. Like, is there going to be is there a future for you in that, or is
I
it
mean, there
just something
could
you?
be. My boyfriend and I talk about, you know, we could be a little duo, a dynamic duo, in wrestling because he fights too. But no, I haven't actively pursued that. I was invited from the wrestlers to come down to the wrestling gym and start taking classes. I just never went up on it. So
Yeah, that's. I mean, a wrestling gym. Everybody's like, "Oh, you just got to go." No, it's totally different because my uncle, he was wrestling in the WWF for a while back in the late '80s, and the school that he went to was in Pittsburgh, Dominic DiNucci, and yeah, that was he said that was a hard, and he was even a high school wrestler and stuff. He goes, yeah, he goes, that right there, that just those bumps and stuff like that they're taking. He goes, it's not fun, and it's not as easy as it looks, and I'm like, it probably isn't.
it definitely is not as easy as it looks. And I don't think it looks that easy. A lot of them are doing serious acrobatic things, and they also have to act on top of it. So it's
Yeah.
like acting while working out. I mean,
Yeah, but you
but
got to
they're
remember
having
this.
fun.
Yeah, you got to remember this was in the '80s, where one of the big finishing moves was Hulk Hogan's leg drop.
Yeah, yeah.
To where now people's doing 360s off the top rope, doing
It's
head.
incredible. It's incredible. They're all about it too. They like it's fun to watch for sure. I definitely enjoy the sport much more after working in the venue. It's super entertaining, super fun.
All right, so here's really the last question, and I know somewhat you've already covered it, but really, what do you see your future in martial arts as? Do you want to be an
Um,
instructor, or do you want
no.
to? No, that's something you don't
I'll
want to do.
forever be a student. I like to help people that are learning, or like be there while somebody's going through it, or like maybe calm somebody down. Is there an anxiety thing, like getting ready to go in the cage for the first time? I don't desire to be an instructor. I wouldn't mind. I wish I could get paid to just train all the time. I don't, I mean, I'm still touring a little bit with Fight to Win. A lot of opportunities have come through that. I think you'll just always see me on the mat, whether I'm getting in a cage myself or getting on a mat for tournament or competition. I'm definitely not done competing at this point. But yeah, I'll just be a good friend that you like to train with. And sometimes maybe I'm your worst training partner because I'm very competitive. But I'll be on the mat regardless. I probably won't teach a class. I'm probably the worst coach out there. The
Is it
worst.
because you're hard on yourself, or is it
I
because you
think I
want the
just
best
don't
out of somebody?
I don't deliver a message well. And then when people like are like asking me questions, I think I do the move a different way. I just I'm not like I'm not real direct in my I've done a few seminars, I've taught a few seminars, and yeah, I was like, this is not for me. I will
Really?
just yeah, I love to learn. I love the sport. I love, you know, when other people teach me, I just don't find that's for me. I think I can be a strong leader and to like, you know, what worked for me is this. If you go and do this, I think I can be that, or like some form of mentor or a friend, or a great training partner, or like I said, the works training partner. But yeah, I think that's where you'll find me. It's just in class, learning.
Okay. Well, your mic didn't cut out. You just went very low.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine. I mean, we still heard everything you said. It was just like you was talking through a funnel, but it's fine. It's fine. And you're still doing it, but I don't know what it is. But I can always turn you up in the in production.
This was hard.
It was
Hard loss.
all right, Mrs. Brittany. I'm gonna let you go. I 100% appreciate you being on the short round.
Thank you.
I hope you had fun.
I did. I hope you did too. Thank you for having me on.
I always have fun, and I love talking to people about martial arts and what their viewpoints are on it. And maybe you come back again.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
All right.
If you invite me, I'll come back.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much, and you have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Let my blood turn this dirt to mud. What you waiting for? I'm ready right now.